Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off your hot and cold water supplies. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Kenmore Washer Lid Latch Assembly. It's going to be a very easy repair and it should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the instructions, 2 different colored bezels depending upon the color of your machine, and the lid latch assembly. The lid latch assembly is what tells the washer when the lid is closed. It also locks the lid. The main reason you'll be changing it out is if the lid switch part of it has failed and your washer is not going into the spin cycle, or the lock has failed and it's not locking the lid. In order to get to the part, we have to open up the machine. First thing we're going to do is lay a towel down on the floor to catch any water that might come out when we take the hoses off. Now that we have the towel down, we can take the hoses off. Make sure you remember which side is hot and which side is cold, so when we put them back on, they go on the right side. We're going to use our pliers to loosen up the hose. Once you have it loose, we can just unscrew it. Now that we have both water lines off, we can remove the 2 access panels on the back. We're going to use our 1/4-inch nut driver to remove the screws. Once you have them off, you can just set them aside. Once you have the screws out, we can lift the back panel off over the water valve. Pull it out and set it aside. With the back panel off, we have access to the lid latch wiring harness. First thing we're going to do is pull this retainer out to give us a little bit of slack. Now that we have the retainer out of the way, there's 2 tabs on the plug that we have to press in order to release the harness. Once you have them depressed, all you have to do is pull the harness off. Then we take a small screwdriver and press this locking tab in and press this down and do the same on the other side. Once you have this released, you can just leave it there, and once we lift the top up, then we can pull the wire harness through the hole in the machine. Now we can use our 1/4-inch nut driver to remove the 2 screws that hold the hinge brackets to the top. Once you have these out, then we're going to go around front and lift the top up. Before we lift the top up, we were going to tape the lid down so it doesn't fall onto the control panel. Let's grab a piece of tape and secure it. Now that we have the lid taped down, we can lift the top up. On this type of washer, the hinge will not support the weight of the top laying back on it. So if you're going to rest it against the wall, make sure you put a towel down so you don't dent it. We made this strap. It's about 36 inches long. We're going to put it right here when we open this up. So that'll support the lid. To get the top off, we already have the screws off on the back. There's a couple tabs in the front that we have to pull it forward to release. Then we can lift up, and then we have to push back on it. And that'll release these little hooks right here. Once you have it all released, we're going to put 1 hook here on this little cutout right here. And we're going to hook the other one on the suspension rod. Once you have it on there, you can let the weight rest against it and hold it in place. Now that we have the top up, you can see the lid latch assembly. It's located on the right-hand side of the machine, and the wire harness goes all the way back down to the console, to the plug that we released. First thing we're going to do is pull the wire harness through the hole. Once you have that through, you can just set it down. On this first locking tab, you have to be careful of this little retainer for the control panel. So this one, you're going to get the screwdriver underneath it and push the wire harness up, then let the clip go, and then pull the harness out. These other 2, all you have to do is release them and pull it out. Now that we have the wire harness totally released, we can use our 1/4-inch nut driver to take out the 2 screws that holds the lid latch assembly in. Once you have them out, you can pull it out. The lid latch assembly comes with a new bezel, so we have to take the old one out. If you notice, there's some tabs on the bottom. We have to push this assembly down to get these tabs to release. Once you have them both released, you can kind of reach underneath. If you have to loosen up the tape a little bit, you can do that. And once you have enough room back there, you can just reach back here and grab it from behind. Here's the old lid latch assembly next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at appliancepartspros.com. Now we can put in the bezel. Remember, just like the old one, you have to line up these tabs and push it up into place so it locks in. Once you have it lined up from the back side, you can just push it up. Once you hear it snap into place, then we can put in the whole latch assembly. To put the new lid latch in, all you have to do is line up the legs of the bezel with the screw holes and slide it into place. Once you have it seated properly, we can use our 1/4" nut driver to put the screws in. With the lid latch mounted, we can run the wiring harness down along the side of the top. All you have to do is lift up the tabs with a small screwdriver again. Make sure you get all 3 of them in there. Now we're on the bottom retainer, just like when we took it off. We're going to put the harness through first and then lift it up and lock it in place. Once you have it in there, we can run the wiring harness through the hole in the top. And then snap this plug into place. With the lid latch installed, we can grab the top and pull it forward. And we're going to take off our orange strap. And then we can carefully let the top come down. You may have to pull it forward. Once you have those 2 side locking tabs in, then you're going to have to pull it forward and let it drop down again. Then you can push it back, and we can go on the back side and put it back together. Now that we have the top down, we can use our 1/4" nut driver to put in the hinge bracket screws. Once you have those down, we can grab our wiring harness. To hook it up to the control board, all you have to do is push it in so it gets a good connection and locks into place. Now we can plug in the wire retainer. It goes right in the hole on the control board. All you have to do is plug it in. It's just pressure fit. With the lid switch reconnected to the control board, we can put the access panels back on. The bigger one, all you have to do is put the tabs up under the control panel and put it down over the water valve. Once you have it in place, we can use our 1/4" nut driver to put the screws back in. The smaller access panel goes in place by putting these tabs into their slots. Once you have them in place, you can swing it over and use the 1/4" nut driver to put the screw in. Now that we have the access covers on, we can put the water lines back on. To hook up the water lines, you want to make sure you get the hot on the hot and the cold on the cold. All you have to do is start them on and get them finger tight. Then we can take our pliers and snug them down so they don't leak. Now that we have the hoses hooked up, we can take the tape off the lid. Once you have that off, you can plug the machine back in, turn the water back on, and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by appliancepartspros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.